welcome to our new studio. So it is a little bit of a construction site around me, but that's okay. So we're going to be doing a foam roller, sort of stretch and recovery style Pilates class right now. So grabbing your Pilates foam roller, or just your foam roller, your long one if you have a long one, and taking it lengthways on your mat as we are going to be laying down on the foam roller. As we usually do in our stretch and recovery classes when we are on the foam roller, I like to start off by releasing some tension that we may be having in the base of the skull. So this can cause a lot of headaches, and I just feel like it's a really nice way to start off the class by just releasing that tension, starting to focus on the breath, and then moving into the rest of the class. So nice and gentle this evening, or this afternoon, or whatever time it is that you are practicing using this video. But just like our stretch and recovery classes, I feel it's really important to not only have those really gentle stretches and things, but also have some activation in some muscles in the body, because that really allows us to recover from any injuries that you may be having in the body. So we'll start off on the foam roller. So just planting your beautiful bottom onto the roller, the knees bent, the feet planted down, using your hands for as much support as you need to as you roll the spine down onto the foam roller. So just rolling all the way down. And here you'll notice that my head is slightly dangling off of the foam roller. So the edge of the foam roller is just pressing into the base of my skull. So just allowing your head to become nice and heavy. You may like to stay still here or softly rock from side to side. Just feeling that lovely massage. And just starting to focus on your breath. Just breathing in and out through your nose if your nose is clear. And sending that all the way down into your beautiful belly. Nice relaxed breath. You can probably hear Chachi licking himself. I'm very sorry about that. He's just off to the side of the camera. We're just going to be taking about 3 more steady, long, even breaths here. The body a little bit further forward onto the foam roller, so that the back of your head can just comfortably sit on the foam roller. So now you feel nice and heavy at the back of the head, in between the shoulder blades, so around your thoracic spine, and then around your tailbone, nice and heavy, allowing both sides of your pelvis to just sit off of the foam roller. We'll start to make our way into more of a cactus pose within the arms, just helping to stretch through the pec muscles. So just start off with taking the arms out to the sides of the body into a T formation with your palms facing up. And then just starting to bend into the elbows here. Still with the backs of the hands just pressing down into the floor beside you. Just allowing yourself to feel nice and open within the chest. Again, continuing to find that deep and steady breath, really filling up your lungs. And then exhaling back out all that stagnant and stuck oxygen and energy. And here during this practice, you might also like to count your breath. So inhaling, counting 1, and exhaling, counting 1. Breathing in 2, and breathing out 2. Just continuing to count your breath, finding a little bit of meditation through your poses. We'll start to make our way out of the pose here, drawing the arms up towards the ceiling. So here we're going to find some extension through the spine as we take the arms up above the head, and a bit of circumducting through the shoulders, or circumduction I should say. A breath in, reaching the arms up above the head and just allowing the ribcage to flare, and then exhaling, circling around and down towards your hips. A breath in, reaching back up towards the ceiling and then above your head. And then exhaling around and down. Just finding that inhale breath. And then an exhale breath. Noticing that beautiful massage around your shoulder blade muscles here as you move into the arms. We'll now start to rotate in the opposite direction. So here we're taking an inhale breath, circling around and up above the head. And then as we exhale, we'll start to notice that we're really starting to use the abdominal muscles. So as we exhale, we'll draw the ribs down to the hips, allowing ourselves to lift the arms back up towards the ceiling and then down towards the hips. A breath in, reaching up and around. And then exhaling, using your abdominal muscles to really help you to pull the arms up above towards the ceiling. Noticing all of those abdominal muscles starting to switch on here, really allowing you to stabilize on the foam roller. Trying to stay nice and steady through the rest of the body, even though you're moving through your arms. Just one more circle here. Exhaling, reaching back up towards the ceiling. We'll keep the hands there for a moment. So within our next exercise, we'll be doing arm preparation, which further helps to switch on our abdominal muscles, especially because we change the form of breathing that we're going to be using. So instead of an inhale breath as we reach the arms up above the head, we're now going to use our exhale breath. So we take an exhale breath, reaching the arms up. Noticing that with that exhale breath, the ribs slide down towards the hips. So we inhale back up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling above the head, trying not to flare into the rib cage. Taking a breath in, exhaling, noticing that your belly button draws in towards the spine, and you send the ribs down. Feeling a little bit of heat within the core, as we really try to pull the arms away from the ribs, and the ribs away from the arms. So using that opposing sort of pressure here. So for a lot of us, we won't be able to come close to touching the floor as we're really trying not to arch into the spine, trying to keep the torso nice and steady as we reach the arms up above the head. So if you find that your hands are reaching down towards the floor and you're flaring into the rib cage and arching through the back, that's not what this exercise is about. It doesn't matter if the hands don't even come close towards the floor. It's just simply trying to activate all those beautiful abdominal muscles. Last 3 and 2. Last 1. Reaching the arms back up, taking your hands in closer together, so almost into a prayer-like position. We're just going to take the feet out a little bit wider to help with balance. Come into a little bit of a pendulum sort of action or twist. So sending the spine to one side, the hands go to the opposite side. And then back into center onto the spine. And then go over to the other side of the spine. So just finding that the foam roller is just starting to massage all those muscles around your beautiful spine here. Just flowing over to both sides, getting that lovely massage. Just evening out the sides here. Then coming back down to center. Hands just go back out to the sides of the waist. Feet come in a little bit closer. So just back to hip distance apart with the feet. We're now going to come into lift foot. So for this exercise, we are going to be moving into the legs. We want this action to sort of come from sort of start, I guess I should say, from our deep abdominal muscles. So thinking about drawing the hip bones across the body towards each other and then in towards the spine. So to see if you've really done so, you can put your 2-piece fingers onto the insides of your hip bones. Think about drawing the hips across the body towards each other and in towards the spine. And then slightly releasing. You can start to feel those muscles switch on as you start to think about drawing them in with the breath in, and then maybe using your exhale breath to just completely release. You can start to feel those muscles sort of compressing and then releasing underneath your fingers. So this is where we want this movement to almost start from, as well as the hip flexors. So still staying nice and strong within the front of your hips, as well as your thighs. So here, hands can be used for support, mainly using those abdominal muscles to stay nice and steady though. And inhale breath at the bottom, making sure you're tightening through your core muscles. And then an exhale breath, lifting your right foot into tabletop. Inhale to lower back down, and then exhaling the opposite side. So we take an exhale breath to lift up, because it's really important that we want to make sure that the core is switched on, and we're sliding the ribs down to the hips, making sure that we're not arching through the spine in order to allow any movement to happen. Trying to stay nice and steady. Last 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Lowering back down into lift and extend. So this time we do change the form of breathing here, because again, it's really important as we extend through the leg in this one to make sure that the spine doesn't arch. It's really, really easy to, when you extend a leg out long, to just arch into the spine in order to allow that leg to extend. Want those abdominal muscles to really work in here. So taking an inhale breath this time into tabletop, and exhale breath extending into the leg. Inhale tabletop, exhale lowering back down. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. Really trying to use your abdominal muscles here to allow this movement to happen. So you should start to notice a little bit of heat here through the abdominal muscles. Thinking about drawing the belly button down towards the spine. Last 2. And 1 more. Now taking the hands behind the head, just with the elbows out into your peripheral vision here. So not using the elbows by the side as that can really straighten the neck. Drawing the chin slightly in towards the chest, using your exhale breath to lift into your abdominal curl. So lifting through the head and the shoulders, gazing at your knees, and then inhale, lowering back down. Exhale, lifting. Inhale, lowering. Trying to stay nice and controlled, even with that inhale breath here. Starting to notice that gentle massage as well through your spine as you lift up and then go back down into that abdominal curl. Next time we lift up, we're going to hold that lift and come into some pulses here. So just sending the ribs further down towards the hips, pulsing, 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 pulsing. And 3, 2, 1. Lowering back down, taking your hands onto your pelvis here. So your fingers just onto your pubic bone and the pads of your hands onto your hip bones here. So just noticing in this position, you have a slight gap between your lower back and the foam roller, and your hands are just parallel towards the mat. We are going to be imprinting through the spine, so without tucking into the tailbone, we're just going to draw down through the abdomen, trying to press the lower back in as close as you can towards the foam roller. It's absolutely fine if there's still a gap. Once you're in that imprinted spine, you'll be able to tell because the pads of your hands are actually lower down than your fingers here. So once you have done so, just then taking your hands back out to the sides of your mat, just for that support, as we are going to be lifting both the legs up. So lifting both of the legs into tabletop position, ready for our toe taps. So really tightening through the core muscles, using your exhale breath to tap the toes down, and then inhale, lifting back up. So just alternating sides here, really important to use that exhale breath again, as I mentioned before. We want to be sliding the ribs down towards the hips, making sure we're not arching through the back in order to tap the toes down. We also want to maintain that 90-degree angle at your knee joint, and just using the hip as a bit of a hinge here. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the feet back down, just giving your lower back a gentle rest and a gentle sort of stretch here. We're going to be tucking through the tailbone, drawing the pubic bone to the belly button, and then back to neutral. So just finding some pelvic tilts, drawing the pubic bone to the belly button, tucking the bottom under, and then back to neutral. So starting to use some muscles here to help you find that lovely stretch within the lower back. So squeezing within the bottom, using your core muscles to draw the pubic bone to the belly button, and then releasing. Adding on the breath. We exhale to tilt, and then inhale back to a neutral spine. Last 2 tilts, and 1 more tilt, then back to neutral, walking your feet back in a little bit closer towards the bottom, ready for some pelvic curls now. So again, we're going to be using the bottom as well as our core muscles here, but we're going to start to peel the spine up away from the foam roller. So using your exhale breath, drawing the pubic bone to the belly button, tucking the bottom and really squeezing, and starting to lift up onto your thoracic spine, so in between the shoulder blades. Then we're going to roll all the way back down through the spine. Adding on our breath now, we take an inhale at the bottom, making sure we're just in our neutral spinal position. And then exhale, drawing the pubic bone to the belly button, rolling our way up. Inhaling at the top, really squeezing into the bottom. And then exhale, lowering back down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, rolling back up. Trying to keep your knees at hip distance apart, not allowing them to flare out to the sides as you lift up. And then rolling your way back down on your exhale. Just continuing in your own pace here. Next time we lift up, I'm going to go into some openings. So lifting your way up, holding here for an inhale breath. On your exhale, we're going to draw the knees out a little bit wider into our openings, and then back to hip distance with the knees. So we exhale to open, and inhale back to hip distance. Starting to use your glute med, so your gluteus medius at the sides of your bottom here, allowing you to abduct through the legs. Trying to keep your hips at the same height. So really using your bottom muscles here, using your core to stay lifted. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to hip distance, starting to roll your way back down onto your spine. We're just going to rest here for about 5 steady breaths, still with the spine planted down, just nice and still. Noticing all of the heavy bits of your spine, resting down onto the foam roller, maybe starting to feel a bit of heat within those parts of the spine. So a little bit of heat within the tailbone, a little bit of heat in between your shoulder blades, and then just feeling the back of your head nice and heavy against the foam roller. We're going to start to make our way off of the foam roller. So just starting to roll over to your preferred side, moving the foam roller back out to the side, and then just laying down on your mat here. Starting to feel nice and airy through the spine. And I always feel like I'm just laying in a hammock after that. It's almost like the sides of my mat are scooping up to give me a big, beautiful hug. It feels like the spine just drifts away. You're welcome to lay there for a little bit longer. Otherwise, we will continue to use the foam roller for just a couple more things here. So we are going to now take it horizontally across the mat, but underneath the head again. So just horizontally holding on with both hands on either end of the foam roller. And just taking that again into the base of the skull. And either just choosing to drift from side to side, or if you would like to, finding a little bit of a figure 8 within the neck and the head. And just feeling a deeper massage than at the beginning of the practice. So this is really allowing us to get into all of those spots that may feel really quite tight. So this can be really lovely if you're trying to release a tension, a headache that may be starting from the base of the skull. And just come back to that center point. We're now going to take the foam roller so it's underneath the shoulder blade area. We're just lifting yourself up slightly, taking it underneath the shoulder blades, taking the hands behind the head for some support, lifting up the hips and just rocking back and forth here. So you're welcome to keep your elbows out wide this time, or you may like to bring them in closer together, as that can really allow you to catch different types of muscles there within that massage. Or you might like to go from drawing the elbows in to back out, entirely up to you, just whatever feels really nice. Now start to rest the hips and find a bit of an extension into the spine. So just allowing the head to rest and become nice and heavy, really opening through the chest. You're welcome to keep the knees bent, or if you would like to, extending them out long and really feeling that lovely extension. So starting to flare through the rib cage, breathing deeply here. Making your way out of that extension, starting to use your abdominal muscles. So drawing the ribs to the hips, starting to lift up through the head and shoulders. Using your hands for support, making your way off of the foam roller and just coming into a gentle hamstring stretch. So allowing your back to come into flexion here as you bring the chest forward and down. And just starting to feel that lovely stretch through the hamstrings, through the backs of the legs. You're welcome to hold onto your toes or the backs of your legs, or maybe even onto your feet here, and just allowing your head to become nice and heavy. Just taking about 3 more steady breaths within your pose. And then just starting to lift through the spine, just one vertebrae at a time. And that is the end of our gentle foam roller practice. I really hope you enjoyed and you feel nice and stretched and tall within the spine. I will be doing plenty more videos very similar to that, but maybe a little bit more hardcore or maybe more gentle. I'll be writing many class plans. If you have any requests, please let me know and I'll try my best to do those. But I hope you enjoyed, and sending you all so much love and so many thank yous and hugs and kisses and everything. Love you all.